the driver of this week, the number 30 Chevrolet in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Jason Leffler. Jason, top of the morning.
What's happening?
What's going on with you today, Jason?
Oh, man, I was I'm just leaving the shop here. They're putting the final touches on the AccuDoc Chevrolet for this weekend. Always look forward to going to Dover. It's one of our it's a good track for us. So high hopes going into this weekend.
Before we explore that, and even this past, you were off this past weekend, catch up with you on what you did there. We're talking a lot about TV this morning, Jason. Did you watch the Cup race Sunday?
I was traveling, but I did see some highlights, and I've heard a lot of people talking about the commercial-free part of it, and that's pretty cool. That's really cool.
It really seems to have been something that fans have asked for, Jason, and the numbers, you probably heard, the ratings for Sunday's race were up almost 20%, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, fans enjoy the fact that they don't have to go away from the set when a commercial comes on, and they'll continue to see the racing.
Sure. I said commercial-free, but yeah, race. I guess, what do you call that? Just non-interrupted.
NASCAR nonstop is what they're calling it.
Nonstop, nonstop. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, especially in racing, it's not like you have timeouts or you don't have a huddle or anything like that. I mean, the racing's going nonstop. And how many times when you're watching a race in the years past and they come back and something during caution, something happens, a pass for the lead or a big wreck or something, the whole race changes. So that way the fans can tune in, they can see the whole thing happening, and at the same time the advertisers get their advertising across the board too. So yeah, that's cool. That's great that the TV audience is up. I mean, I think this chase is really exciting. Nobody's a runaway, although Tony Stewart is pretty much come out of nowhere. So but I think you haven't seen the last of all the other competitors. This chase is going to go down to the wire, so it's cool to see everybody tuning in.
Would you like to see a chase in the Nationwide Series?
Heck yeah! I mean, for sure. I'm 6th in points, 100 and something out of the lead. So a chase would do us really good. It would reset the whole field, and I think it would be awesome. I think it would bring some. Although our Nationwide Series championship's pretty close this year with the new points system, I think the chase would even add even more excitement to it and help keep everybody focused on it.
You've been in Tony Stewart's position before in terms of having momentum and confidence and reeling off victories and feeling good every time you get to the racetrack. What's that like, Jason? Can you quantify what that feels like when you know that you have a chance to win every time you get into that race car?
Yeah, I mean, I wish you could just bottle that up and save it for when you have bad days, because momentum goes a long way in this sport, and even when you're behind the wheel, it just seems like when you have momentum, everything goes right, and you feel good, and the guys feel good, and everybody's working hard, and everything's going your way. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough to exactly explain what it feels like, but it feels great.
Well, let's talk about going to Dover this weekend. Well, let's talk about last weekend again. You had an off weekend, and I know you don't like to sit still. What did that do in terms of any momentum or swing that you guys were on, having an off weekend to sit at home?
Well, I mean, I don't like off weekends, but we needed that off weekend around the shop. Gave guys the extra time to get the AccuDoc Chevy ready, and they built me a brand new car for Dover, and it's got a couple updates on it. So we needed the time. I think it was 14 weeks in a row, maybe 15 weeks in a row for us. But certainly I like to be racing. I went to Eldora Speedway and watched the 4-Crown, the USAC 4-Crown, watched the World of Outlaws race Friday night, and took Charlie up there. So
that had to be brutal.
Yeah.
That had to be brutal. That's like taking me, a big guy, to the Golden Corral and saying, "Look, don't touch."
Yeah, it was brutal. It was, but that's a good analogy.
Although the manager has a sigh of relief when that happens, but regardless. Yeah. But there you go. Yeah. I mean, to Bagman's point, I mean, that, Eldora, I know how important and what that means to you to just be a spectator had to be rough.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was good. Got to hang out with my son and see some good race and watch one young kid win all 3 events on Saturday, Kyle Larson. So that was pretty impressive, and I haven't seen that before. I saw Jack Hewitt win all 4 one time about 12, 13 years ago. So But yeah, it's tough going to a race and not driving, but at the same time, it was good. I always complain, I don't like off weekends, but I needed a little breather there, so caught my breath, and we're ready to go racing again this weekend.
Why is Dover one of your favorite tracks and one of the team's favorite tracks?
I don't know. We've just always had good cars there, and it's just carried over from year to year. Yeah, I mean, it's a very unique track. We always run good on concrete tracks, and that's certainly we run good at Bristol. Dover and Bristol are Bristol's a miniature Dover, and vice versa. So you carry some of the same setup, same feel and everything, and it's just a good place for us. So I look for really high hopes, and got to thank my buddy Harry Scott again for coming on board this weekend to sponsor the car with his company AccuDoc Solutions, and should be good.
When you go and race there in May and then you come back in October, any idea of how much that racetrack changes, Jason, in about 4 or 5 months' time?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like when we come back in the later race, we don't have as much grip. I don't know if that's just from it sitting all summer long, but it's very minor changes because of the surface being concrete, and the concrete's not as susceptible to sunlight and heat and all that. It changes a little bit, but not much.
Looking down the road here now, I know you had the weekend off, and now you're in a pretty busy stretch. Any tracks outside of Dover that are leaping out at you that you say, boy, can't wait to get back there, or can't wait to get there? You think you have a good shot at trying to get the victory lane?
Well, I mean, we've been around long enough that we feel like when our cars are right, we can win anywhere. So, I mean, nothing's really leaping out. I'm anxious to go to Phoenix and see what the new configuration is there. I mean, I saw some video of it. It didn't look a whole lot different, but they changed the turn 2 back straightaway banking and the dog leg there. So anxious to get out there and try that out. And Phoenix is one of my favorite tracks too. So just enjoy the area and enjoy racing there.
Yeah, we've talked to a couple of crew chiefs. There's going to be a cup practice there next Monday and Tuesday. Nobody has any. You're right. It doesn't look that different, but we know it is a lot different. No one knows what to expect until they get out there.
Yeah, sure. And it's a good thing they got some extra practice, for the cup guys, and I think we have an extra day. We go in a day early and might have an extra couple-hour practice when we go race. So, I mean, no one knows what to expect, and that's the fun part about racing. As you go there and you work on your car and make it as best as you can in a couple-hour period.
Don't mean to belabor the point, but any idea about what 2012 might hold? Are you in meetings? Are you close to a decision? What's the situation there?
We're still working hard on it. Don't have any news right now. I mean, it's tough right now, but I got some things working and got some high hopes. So we're working hard, and like I said before, I mean, we're working hard here at Turner to try to put something together for next year. So. We're just looking for another sponsor, and if we can get somebody out there to sponsor us, we'll run for the nationwide championship again. If not, I'm open for anything. So just working hard on that end. Yes.
Well, we wish you the best in trying to get that done, as we wish you the best in the One Main Financial 200 Saturday afternoon at Dover International Speedway. We know you guys love that track, and who knows? We could be talking to you next week as winner of that race at the Monster Mile. I'm sure you're saying your lips to God's ears on that front.
Yeah, I hope so.
Take care. Safe travels, and enjoy the weekend in the first state.
Thank you, Jason.